Welcome to Glow Local, a podcast that celebrates community, entrepreneurs, and businesses around the area. Welcome, listeners. I am Andrea Pascali. Welcome to Glow Local. Today, I'm sitting with Danny Fakih with Elements Fitness Studio. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Thank you for coming on today. I'm happy to have you. So Danny is here because today we would like to talk a little bit about the correlation between fitness, health, and lifestyle, and how that affects people both on the inside and on the outside. And I do believe that there is definitely an awesome correlation between what he does and what we do, and it all ties in together. So I would like to start this off by talking to Danny a little bit about his personal journey, what led him to get into this industry, how he chose the name for his business. Is there some background behind it? Because I know with every business owner, there's usually a little bit of background behind that name. And I'm really curious about what that is for Danny. So Danny, let's start off by asking you what inspired you to open Elements Fitness Studio, and also tell me a little bit about why it's unique compared to other gyms and how you came up with the name of it.
That's really, really easy for me to talk about because the whole journey is like, it's the same process. So I actually kind of stumbled into personal training by accident. When I was a kid, the typical 90s kid, we all grew up with the martial arts era of television. Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z. That's all I wanted to do, was be like a karate champion. I wasn't really into any type of like organized sport. So nobody in my family was like a big baseball or football person. I played football for a little while before I moved to my neighborhood where I went to high school. But I just randomly one day at the, I forgot, it was probably during gym class, they taught us how to use the weight room. And for whatever reason, that just became my favorite thing. And I remember asking my mom when I was in high school if I could take the late bus home so I could go to the weight room and I could just lift weights. And one of our teachers was there, he supervised. And from the time I was 14 years old up until right now, I don't think I've taken more than a week off from lifting weights. So when I was in college, I was going through like a little bit of like a transition period. A lot of people kind of go through this, like what 17, 18-year-old actually knows like what they want to do with themselves. And it's a scary process that when you're in school and you know how much the school costs, and you don't know what you're going to do, or if you even like what you're doing. That's kind of during that period is when I started bringing friends with me to the gym, because I was getting really, really good results over those years. I was into bodybuilding at this point, so I had like my schedule. I had aspirations to be on the stage, and I would bring a couple of friends with me and I would help them work out. And then something started to click, and I'm like, I could actually probably do this. Fast forward up until now, I am a complete health and fitness nut. Whenever I have the opportunity to get a new certification or a new skill, I do it for myself, but also for the clients that kind of come to my gym. I feel like that's, at least without sounding arrogant, that's what kind of makes me a little bit more special than like the average personal trainer that you would find. It's my ability to seek out the knowledge, but then also practically apply it, because I don't want to only be good at one area of fitness. I want to be good at all of them, because I don't know what kind of client's going to walk through my door. And when they ask me a question, because I take my job very, very seriously, essentially these people, anybody that comes into the gym, they're not only looking for, like, let's say an aesthetic goal to look a certain way. Some people are coming because they're trying to get rid of an ache of pain. Some people are coming for health reasons. I want to make sure that the position that I'm in, I give you the best information and the best method moving forward that improves your life. I don't want anybody to come to me and I'll hear it. You hear guys in like, some middle-aged guys that when they were younger, they beat themselves to a pulp in the gym, and now they have movement problems when they get older. That's not what the gym does. The gym is supposed to make you better at real life.
Right.
So one of my big things in my facility is I can get you the aesthetic result that you're looking for, but I also want you to have things that you take outside that make you live your life better. And that looks different for every person. Not everybody wants to lift weights like a bodybuilder. Some people are more averse to doing things like aerobics, or they like kickboxing better. Some people only need corrective exercise. So we just try to blend everything, and it's all individual. It's all based on the person. And once I see levels of progression, that's when I start to kind of test the waters to see like what you're capable of. And it's a very, very uplifting and incredible journey to be a part of, because like one of the quotes that I use, I'm not doing any of the work. You're doing all the work. So everything that you achieve, I just laid out the tracks for you, but you actually have to move along the track to get the results. So everything that you achieve, you get all the credit. And it's very, very uplifting. To watch that happen with people. And it's probably very, very similar in here. It's really hard to like picture myself doing anything else but this.
I feel the same way. So you lead the horse to water, and you hope that they drink it.
Exactly.
Right? And then once they drink it, then they kind of turn around and they say to you, okay, I'm drinking the water and I'm feeling good. Now what? And then you lead the way, right? Like that's what a good leader does. I think the results speak for themselves, right? Because I mean, you obviously have extremely happy clients. That's how I found you. I know some people that go to you personally, and yeah, exactly. It is working. And so that was what led me to say, I want to have Danny on here because Danny sounds unique. He sounds special and he sounds different and he sounds like he's running a really great business. So, fun fact, I plan on going to you soon.
Fakih.
I plan on starting with you soon. That's next on my to-do list. Sign up for fitness because I like some type of fitness thing, and we're gonna talk afterwards because I really want to start my fitness journey up again because after having kids and focusing so heavily on business and everything else in my life, maintaining a household, etc. The one thing that always kind of has been taking the back seat for me is fitness, and I feel like it's that missing element.
One other aspect to that is extremely important to me, which you don't think about until you get to a certain age bracket, is when you have that level of effect on somebody and they go home and they do that, you're affecting their friends and their family. You know, like I have a couple of couples in the gym. The couples, mom and dad, are going to the gym and they're raising their kids in a fun place. When the kids get older, they're going to want to go to the gym with you, or they're at least going to want to be active on their own because they're watching their parents do something. Then the whole household is going to be starting to make better choices with food. And I'm not much of a diet Nazi. I know that people have certain preferences or whatever. If you eat 90% of the time focusing on your nutrition and your health and stuff, you have 10% to do whatever the hell you want, and that will make you also, again, for your mental health and for everything else. It's not going to ruin your physique. It's not going to impact your health, but it is going to make you feel really happy. And you're not going to feel like you're missing out on any of the life experience that you could have, because there's in competitive bodybuilding, there is something called the all or nothing mentality. This happens with a lot of physique competitors. They either have to be 100% sacrificing every happy aspect of your life to get their diet and their workout in, including social events and whatever, or if they can't do it, they won't do it at all. And that psychologically is unhealthy.
Every single time I have ever lost any amount of weight, whether that be postpartum or I've just been eating different, it's everybody else around me that says something about it. And I'm like, thanks.
I'm going to call you out because we at the Labor Day barbecue with Jamie's family back there, how many people came up to you and said how amazing you were looking and how good, and guess how many people came up to me when they find out that I was not just a friend, I was also the trainer. They're like, what do you do to Matt and Jamie? Like, look at Danielle's arms, like they look great.
My whole family, we all go to Danny, my brother, my sister-in-law, myself. We're trying to recruit more family members. And yeah, I saw a couple of people that I hadn't seen in a long time. And yeah, they came up to me and they were like, Jamie, you look awesome. And I was like, thanks, it's him. And then before I knew it, it was like a beehive. They were just like, my mom was like, we got to rescue Danny. He's like, he's getting swarmed.
Jose, what do you go to?
Oh man, I go to this man right here.
Yeah.
See, we trade though. We've been trading for years.
My heart's gotten better because of you, bro. You know what? My knees has gotten better.
That makes me so happy. Doesn't that make you feel so good?
This is the best
You
thing.
saved his life.
But you'd save my life in other ways too. Now, when the people that you care about most they come to you and they're seeing the result, and you get to, that is the self-worth that you feel afterwards. It's like, because like, I'm going to do this for me regardless. I love that I'm able to do this for other clients, but when you do it for the people that you actually care about, you're sharing with them something that has uplifted you to another plane of happiness.
I mean,
and I get to do it with people that I care about, some of my closest friends, some of my family members at this point. There's nothing better than that.
Danny, you sound like a spiritual person.
A little bit.
You sound like a spiritual person. So can you tell me a little bit about how, well, I'm going to ask you kind of two questions and then I want you to sort of answer it as one. So I want to know, first of all, you said you do a lot of recreational activities that require you to be fit. So part one of this question is, tell me about some of those activities and how being fit has affected your ability to do them and how you think you would or would not be able to do those things had you not been a physically fit person. And then the second part of the question is, I also want to tie in some of your spirituality because I too am a spiritual person. And I believe that there is a higher power, and I believe that I was placed here for certain reasons. And one of those reasons I believe in my core was to help others feel better about themselves. So I want to know, A, about your outside recreational activities, B, how being a fit person has affected your ability to do those things. And if you weren't fit, do you think you could do them and do them the same way? And C, do you at all tie your spirituality into these journeys? Like what kinds of journeys are you going on?
So I'm going to full circle all that because the answer to all three of them is yes. What I discovered over, because I'm what you would consider a non-competitive athlete.
Okay.
I like doing athletic events where nobody wins, nobody loses, there's no score. It's you just do it for you. And if you want to get better at it, great. And if you just want to get through it, get through it. I'm an obstacle course racer. I'm also a coach for Spartan Race. I've been doing it for we're going on like better part of like 12, 13 years, I think, of racing. And now I'm also like a cyclist. Now I'm a bike racer too. But all the race, like we call them races, but there's no first prize. It's just get to the finish line. So I remember I'm also like a big nerd. So anything that has to do with ancient Greece or ancient warrior culture or Spartans, I'm in. So that's how I discovered the race to begin with. And it was when me and my cousin had our whole gym, and I told him about it. I'm like, dude, let's make a team. Let's get the clients to do it with us. I just want to do it because it says Spartan. And we had a really rough day because most of us were bodybuilders. A lot of us were not long distance runners. And every single one of those races, even if it's a 5K, you still need to have the capability to run 3.5 miles while you're doing obstacles in between.
I bet.
And so that you like, now anybody can do an obstacle race. And I encourage everybody to try it because it's the communities of those recreational races are the reason why you want to do it.
I have to say that one of the number one things that's always kind of brought me back to like life, like that's grounded me is getting out of my house. And so in whatever capacity that might be, if it's, going for a walk, meeting up with a friend for coffee, whatever, like that has so many times saved me from me. And I love what you're talking about because I really love to always tie everything in life to a mental health in some component, because I believe truly that every single decision we make in life, whether it be, who should I hang out with? Should I work out today? What should I eat? Where should I get a job? Should I keep this job? Should I leave this job? Like every major decision or even small decisions that we make in life always kind of come back to how we feel up here. And it sounds like you've really created a space, especially at Elements, that gives people an outlet. It gives people an outlet to come and release maybe some of those demons that, might be kind of tying into their house where they're feeling a little down and depressed because God knows what. And listen, let's be honest, we never know what people are going through. And, when people walk your door at Elements, I'm sure the first thing they don't do is say, "Hi, I'm Andrea. I am an anxious disaster. Help me."
Well, one thing that I always catered my little gym space to was I want you to feel like this is your gym. Unfortunately, with a lot of like the big commercial gyms and with like TikTok and Instagram and like I have a very love-hate relationship with social media. Yeah. I love the fact that I can, like, when I'm looking for happiness, like I'm looking at like puppy and cat videos and there's that's what's making me happy. Or I'm looking at I'll look at a fitness video or like a cycling video or something. Those are things that bring me joy. Right. But then there's a lot of trash that's on there. And then you catch yourself doom scrolling all this like this guy like having a road rage incident, all that stuff, that you don't realize what that does up here. That actually creates anxiety to you. It's no good.
Yeah.
What I've always wanted to do in my facility is, because it's private, it's one-on-one or it's semi-private. You can bring like, I usually have like couples or like coworkers do it because my space isn't that big. I want you to come in here and never feel judged by other people in the gym looking at you do what you do. And I want you to feel like it's your house. Right. It's your, and that's kind of like, that's always the benefit of having a one-on-one studio as opposed to like a group class studio or something of that nature. Because you don't, even if there's other people in the gym, at least in my facility, you'll meet crossover with certain clients and they become friends.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I saw you last week, or like,
yeah.
Like her brother, when Matt comes, sometimes Matt is absolutely drenched in fucking sweat. He's laying on the floor.
Right.
And then my next appointment comes in and they're like, what did you do to him? And I'm like, you're about to find out. And it becomes like a conversation piece, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's uplifting, and all of that fear of judgment and all that, which would take you away from you going to the gym and feeling your best, it's gone.
So I actually want to piggyback off that. One of the number one things that has deterred me from almost every single gym that I have ever been to has been that I walk in and I don't know what to do. And then I show up to a machine and I'm the fool that's reading the instructions on the machine.
But that is what the instructions are there for.
And I still do it. Because I'll get on the machine and it's like, okay, like go like this and then go like this. And then it's like, okay, but is my posture good? Because the instructions aren't going to tell you that. I mean, it may tell you, like, keep your shoulders up and do this. But, like, at the end of the day, like, no one is going to stand there and tell you is your posture's huge in fitness. No one's going to tell you if you're breathing properly on the machine. So the directions on the machine aren't going to give you really everything that you need to know. It's going to simply, it's simply giving you the basics of using the machine. Right. And so I believe that when you do go to a fitness place like yours, where it's more personal and it's more one-on-one, people are going to get that level of comfort of feeling confident in the fact that they didn't just waste an hour at this big gym following the instructions on the machines, hoping that they're doing something, where you eliminate that.
That's always the benefit of having somebody there with you along the journey.
Right.
But
an expert.
Right. And then the other thing too is that like I've met people, I don't ever deter anybody from doing anything outside of my gym. If you want to do martial arts or yoga or Pilates or CrossFit, like I will actually manipulate my workout to make you enjoy that or be more effective at it.
That's great.
I don't hate on people for going into other areas of health and fitness, because if that's what makes you happy and it's keeping you active and you're not screwing yourself up in the process. The only time I'm ever going to be over opinionated about that is when I'm noticing that there's like an acute injury cycle. It's like, what are you doing at this place that is screwing you up? Is somebody not watching you for your form, or like what? But for my biggest thing, number one thing is injury prevention, because my fitness makes me live. I am happy when I can push my limits. I'm happy when I can go and race and I can do all these things. And I love when I'm like so exhausted in the gym that I can barely like hold my own body weight up and do a push up. Like I start laughing because I know I killed myself to a point. I love that.
Okay, Danny, I have some questions for you. Where are you going? A lot of us in the beauty industry talk about self-care. It's very important. What does self-care mean to you?
Self-care is all my elements. Making sure that you are managing your stress levels, having a little time per day for you, because we all, especially as adults, they don't prepare you for this when you're a kid. As an adult, you don't realize how many responsibilities you're going to have. It does burn you out. You need, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, if you have something that you can do just for yourself, give that time to yourself. It will help you manage everything else that you have to deal with a little bit more efficiently. Tie that into being physically active, eating good nutritious foods, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, all of those things, that is self-care. And that ties into not only health and fitness, that ties into every single aspect of your life outside of the gym. It ties into how you deal with problems at work, how you deal with relationship issues, everything.
Absolutely.
And the better you feel and the more clearly you can think, the more rational you're going to think, and the better you can, like, you know what? This really isn't that big of a deal. I don't know why I'm having like this crazy emotional response. Let me just take a second, reset. Everything goes hand in hand. It's all the same.
Has there ever been a time in your life, Danny, where because I know you said you've been exercising and into fitness since you're 14 years old. So since then, has there ever been a time in your life where you were forced to take a step back from fitness, whether it be medical or some other crazy reason?
Yes and no.
Okay.
During one of my obstacle course races, when you're really in tune with your body, you know when you're sore and when you're injured something. I've never had an injury before in my entire life. I tore the tendon on this elbow when I was doing one of the monkey bar obstacles, and I knew it the second I went home because it was a completely different feeling than I've ever had from like just being beat up after a race. It felt like a hot iron. It was on the bone itself, and sometimes it would flare up and sometimes it wouldn't. And if I would be clicking on a mouse, my arm would feel like it was on fire, and then it would go away. And I knew right then and there, I'm like, this is something else. So this is a good message for anybody. If you ever have any type of ache and pain that lasts longer than 14 days with no improvement, go and get it checked out.
Right.
Just go and do it. Don't guess.
I mean, so you've had setbacks. You've had setbacks physically. Have you had any setbacks in business?
COVID. 2020.
You were in business during COVID?
When it was my cousin owned a private personal training studio. That was like my first like solo business endeavor per se, because like he owned the gym and I basically like rented the space for him, but we ran it as a team.
Right.
And we were on top of the world for a little while. Like we had a ton of clients, we had families, everything was wonderful. And when the pandemic happened, me and him were very, very resistant to closing the doors. And I'm still going to be bitter about this to this day, how badly the television villainized health and fitness studios. We were the only facilities keeping you guys alive.
Quite literally.
And you were like, they're the dirtiest places ever. You like wear your mask. It was insane. I am so happy that health and fitness was literally bounced back after a year of that, because nobody wanted to.
You're too long though.
It was too long. It was. But after that, we never got our full client base back. And as we were slowly starting to like rebuild it, our landlord kicked us out. He gave us time to find a new spot, but he didn't want to renew our lease after that. He wanted to do something else. And that period, from that point when I was already training in his facility for like 8 years at that point, before I found this place, that was like a 2-year gap of me figuring out what the hell am I going to do with my life. And that was also, it had its own challenges. It was pretty scary.
Talk about kicking someone when they're down, right? So that,
Yeah, I was terrible. God.
I can see it in your face. You're like reliving it right now. What do you have to say about those who are interested in taking Ozempic and Mounjaro and other weight loss supplements that are being heavily marketed right now for weight loss?
There are two sides to this coin. There are some of those people that actually need it for their, like, some people that are like morbidly obese that are like, you're about to die. So the doctors are like, we need to get you to lose weight because your heart is in overdrive right now.
Okay.
And maybe gastric bypass and certain types of dieting, maybe that's not working. Obesity, when you really start to look at it, it's a lot more of a psychological disease, and the physical symptom is a result of that, because it's almost like somebody who has like a drug addiction.
Okay.
It's, you can't force them to, like, if they go for like a gastric bypass surgery or a lap band, and you're not changing the lifestyle or how their brain chemistry works and their relationship with food and exercise, the second that that's over, they go right back to where they were. It's very similar to like what happened to a lot of the contestants on The Biggest Loser. They were all very, very, very extremely overweight, obese people. They were only able to achieve those results because they had somebody belittling them and barking in their face and starving them to death because there was money on the line. There was cameras in your face. And the second all that was taken away because you didn't change anything about your lifestyle, they went right back to where they were. So like so with the GLP medications, somebody that might need it because the doctors are trying to keep you alive.
Fine.
I'm not going to say fine. I'm just going to say I understand.
Medically necessary.
Other people that are taking it because they're just, without sounding like a rude person, you're too lazy to diet and exercise. It's still too experimental at this stage. You don't really know long-term what's going to happen. So like the certifying boards actually have given the trainers kind of like a heads up of like what to do with clients, because not every client is comfortable telling you what they're doing, and that's fine. Like you deserve your own privacy.
Sure.
But for the sake of what we're doing in the gym, this is something that the trainers actually need to be aware of, because what these medications essentially do is they trick your body into thinking that you've already eaten. It's basically controlled starvation as we look at it, because like when you look at somebody who's been on any type of those GLPs for a long time, their faces look emaciated. They look they look like starving island.
They
not like
Ozempic face.
Yeah.
They call it Ozempic face. I think
That's like a half.
hollow. They look skeletal.
Yeah, like your eyes kind of get like so.
Your eyes get sunken, your cheeks get sunken.
Think of somebody who's like on a desert island and they're starving. They're very, very thin, but nobody's going to look at you and be like, damn, that person looks great. They've lost so much weight. You look like a zombie. That's essentially what these medications are doing to people. It's controlling your hunger reflex.
Okay.
Now, from the training standpoint, where it becomes a little bit dangerous in my facility is when you are not able to eat X amount of nutrients, protein, calories in general, you're the one that's going to run the risk of passing out in my gym, because you're eating 1,000 calories a day. And now I'm putting you through like a really hard workout because you're overweight and I'm trying to get you to burn more calories. You're also definitely not intaking enough protein. So if we do any type of like hard resistance training, your body is not going to have enough amino acids to rebuild the tissue that I'm just destroying. You're going to be in a constant state of soreness, and that's going to lead to long-term injury.
Correct.
So and I have a couple of clients that are taking GLPs, but like they tell me about it. So now I know how to get them to their goal.
Do you encourage those individuals to consume their nutrients in other, even if
I'll recommend
protein shake,
dietary supplements and whatever. Not so much with the protein shakes, more so with the greens and the electrolytes, because that's like beneficial for all of us to take. There's and anybody can look this up. You don't have to take me at my word, but even like the U.S. farming industry, because of how often we till the soil, even when you're growing crops, like they don't have the same nutrient content that fruits and vegetables had like 100 years ago. So if you eat a very, very colorful, like plant-based diet with all the healthy stuff that you should be, you're still missing out on a lot of the 100% daily value of the trace minerals. So taking multivitamins, extra fish oil, and like a green supplement and a hydration supplement specifically, that's beneficial for everybody to do, whether you're in health and fitness or not. And that very easily ties into, also like the beauty industry too, because it's going to make you like your skin more healthy, your nails are strong, your hair's better vision. It all ties in hand in hand.
What would you consider to be the unhealthiest meal somebody can have consistently for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Anything that involves bread and pasta.
Wheat or
Wheat too.
just, okay.
So,
or just carbohydrates.
starch carbohydrates. Because nutritionists confuse the crap out of people, and I hate when they do this.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I'm on a no-carb diet, but you're eating fruits and vegetables. You're eating carbohydrates, guys. There's two different types of carbs. There's fibrous carbs, which are fruits, vegetables, and nuts.
Okay.
And even though nuts are more in the fat category, they do have some fibrous carbohydrate in there.
Okay.
And then there's starch.
Okay.
Starches and sugars get metabolized as blood glucose, which is going to spike your insulin.
Interesting.
So diabetics have to watch that.
Right.
Even fruit. Fruit is extremely healthy for you because of all the trace nutrients that they have, but they still have to pay attention to their serving size, because especially if they're type 2 and they have to, type 1 and they have to take insulin, you have to counteract that because your body's not going to do it naturally.
Okay.
Fibrous carbohydrates like vegetables and leafy greens and stuff, you can pretty much eat an incredible serving of that and you're not going to get that spike. So if you're eating like a really, really big salad, and even if you have like a dessert that goes along with it, you're less likely to store everything that the dessert has, because you're not basically like spiking your insulin to the point, like if you were having like French fries and then you had ice cream right after, you are storing that entire meal. And you're also going to be tired and lethargic afterwards because your insulin is going to go up and then it's going to plummet and crash.
Okay.
If you're eating more along the lines of like healthy fats, lean proteins, and vegetable sources, you're still getting carbohydrates in your system, but your blood sugar doesn't do this. It stays a little bit more towards that baseline.
So what you're saying is that as long as I have a salad before I have that chocolate cake, I should be good.
Not exactly.
Salad before cake. But that's sort of a takeaway.
I say,
He said a lot, but that's all I've had for him.
if chocolate cake makes you happy, just have the chocolate cake. But what did you do for the rest of the day, or what do you plan on doing tomorrow to kind of offset the calorie intake? Because like, again, you want to be healthy, but you also want to be happy.
Right.
Like most personal trainers, like our favorite thing in the world is we eat like pizza, because like you don't eat Like there's no bread, there's no rice, and there's no pasta in my house because I save that for when I go out.
Okay.
That's my cheat.
So really, I mean, I'm hearing from you, and I hear this from like a lot of people in the health and fitness world, nutrition world, that the devil in our food groups are these bread, pasta, and just like these really wheat based.
Here's a crude example.
What about whole wheat? Is that good?
No. What's going to constitute a nutritious food is if there's vitamins and minerals in it.
Right.
So like if somebody wants to eat a rice dish, the only difference between white rice and brown rice, there's a couple differences, but the main difference is that the brown rice is going to contain fiber. Oh. Calorically, it's exactly the same, and the way that your body's going to metabolize is exactly the same.
Okay.
It's still starch. It's still going to get metabolized as blood sugar. It's still going to give you energy. So if you don't like brown rice, you like white rice, but if you're going to have the rice dish, just eat the one that makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like calorically and internally, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Interesting. So, Danny, would your clients, would it be safe to say that the clients that come to you can expect not only an experience with exercise, but also they can look up to you as being almost a nutritional dieting, but as like coach as well? Like, are you well enough first, would you say, to help guide them in that?
So one of my specializations in fitness is in fitness nutrition. Okay. It's completely different than a registered dietitian and a clinical nutritionist because those you have to go for school for.
Right.
For what I'm able to do with fitness nutrition is, again, you manipulate your calories, your macronutrient totals to elicit goals for fitness.
Okay.
So like most people, they come because they want to lose weight. So we calculate like your basal metabolic rate. This is how many calories you should have, proteins, fat, carbs. On the clinical side or the registered dietitian side, they're going to be the ones that are going to have access to blood work and nutrient deficiency and food allergies. I don't have that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit risky for me to like recommend eat this. I give you guidelines.
Right.
And you fill it with what works for your body specifically.
So we talk about the do's and the don'ts with our clients all the time. And matter of fact, going to the gym is a hot topic of discussion in the aesthetics world because a lot of our clients are people that truly care about their appearance. They come in here because they're one of those types of people that they care about their appearance. They love to enhance their appearance. And so most of them are gym goers. So we constantly have to drill into these people the do's and the don'ts of post and pre care when it comes to our services. And so one of the number one things that we constantly have to emphasize with our clients is the importance of keeping their skin sweat-free and clean after something like a wax. And so it's really, really hard for some of these people because they try to schedule all of their things back to back, especially on a day off. You know, it's like, okay, like I have my day scheduled. It's like, I'm going to go get my wax, then I'm going to go to the gym. And they tell us these things because they have no idea. You know, they come in, I'll be like, hey, what are you doing for the rest of the day? And when I tell you the amount of people that are like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym after this. And I would just look at them and I'm like, no, the hell you're not. Like, I'm sorry, but no, you're not, unless you want to break out. So in a nutshell, one of the most important post-care no-nos for us is working out after getting a wax or a facial or something like that done, because essentially the less boring explanation and less scientific explanation would be that, you have a pore and there was a hair in it and we just pulled that hair out. So what's protecting your pore now? Nothing. So anything on the surface of the skin that gets inside that wide open pore can cause a breakout naturally. You can break out with hair in the pore, but you're much more likely to break out once that hair is removed. So we often see a lot of things like bacterial breakouts because girls will come in, men too, and they get a treatment done here. And we open up those pores almost every service we do, whether it be a facial or a wax. We are pretty much dilating the pores. And so when we do that, you are becoming instantly more susceptible to bacterial exposure to those pores, which therefore in exchange come in the form of breakouts. All right, Danny, some quick fire questions for you. Danny, what's one of your biggest flexes as a gym owner?
Every time one of my clients tells me that they've been able to do something that they never thought they could do without the gym. Like I hit a weight loss milestone. My doctor asked me like what I was doing because my blood pressure went down. Every single one of them. I can't narrow it down to one. Every time somebody gives me good news, I'm uplifted.
That's a big win. That's a big score.
I love my house. Danny, by myself.
Love it. Danny, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
Okay, pizza. What is your favorite healthy meal?
Okay. It depends what type of diet I'm on. I follow a ketogenic diet a couple times throughout the year, so I'll eat just like a whole avocado as like a snack.
Really?
I absolutely love that.
Do you put some lime juice on it at least?
I'll cut it in half and I'll just eat it with a spoon.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love avocado, so I can get it.
And they're extremely healthy for you too.
They are those healthy fats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Okay. What would you say your number one favorite home workout would be for individuals who are going to the gym and getting professional guidance but want to maintain their physique at home?
It is going to depend on what physical activities you're participating in at the gym. So primarily, if you're a weightlifter, doing any type of low-intensity cardiovascular activity at home would be great.
Okay.
Doing any type of yoga or flexibility on your own has an immense carryover to how your posture is and how your body, it's injury-proof, stuff like that. When it comes as far as like a calorie burn go, it's do something that's going to complement with what you're doing with your other activity. Try not to repeat the same movement patterns. So just in case you don't run into overuse or overtraining and then something's going to tear and you to turn that to an injury.
Right. Okay. Understood. Do you have any full body workouts that you could recommend someone do at home, or do you feel like it's better for them to really focus on one area?
I could give you one exercise that is a full body strength, endurance, fat loss, cardiovascular improvement, everything, and you're not going to want to do it.
Can you show me how to do it?
It's a burpee.
Can you show me how to do it?
I'm going to show you right now.
Yep. And doing that a bunch of times in a row, it was painful.
The burpee is the number one conditioning tool utilized by every single form of military, I think, in the world.
Okay, so fun fact, I've done burpees before, I'm not going to lie, but you just made that look really easy.
What do we do when we're late?
Burpees for every minute you're late.
Do you have kids? No. I would love to see what punishments you implement for your children.
They're not punishments. They're going to be rewards because they're going to
You talked back 5 burpees.
My future children are going to know that being fit is normal, not something that you have to make time for. This is just your life. This is what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it fun, and I'm not going to restrict them. Like, all my friends make jokes that they're like, Danny's kids are never going to have French fries. Yes, they are. I want French fries too. But I want them to have a very, very happy balance. And especially younger kids, while they're growing and while their metabolisms and their bodies are being, constantly changing, that's the most important time for you to give them healthy food. Okay. Like, the fact that chicken fingers and French fries are the kids' menu in almost every restaurant you go to it's soul crushing.
Probably kills you.
It's awful. But again, it's not my place to coach parents on how they want to do their kids. It's just, I just provide listen, if you're coming to me as an adult to get in good shape because all of these things that you were eating in the past made you fat, why the hell are you getting them to your kids right now?
Sure. Yeah. Can't miss what you don't know. Danny, I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be, that just sparked a really good question because the premise of this podcast there's a very heavy, a lot of moms are going to be watching this, a lot of parents. So I'm going to ask you a question that says, what is a piece of advice that you can that you would give a parent whose child who is a picky eater? So what is something that you can encourage them to feed their children that you think would kind of give them the full circle of nutrients?
Oh my God, it's going to depend on what kind of a parent you want to be.
Well,
because I'm going to do what my parents did. And it's like, oh, you don't want to eat this? Then don't eat it and go hungry because then tomorrow morning you're eating exactly what I put in front of you because now you're hungry.
Oh, that's the tough parent. That's sorry, parents.
But it's not though, because if you only have to do that.
That's millennial parent.
You only have to do that a couple of times and then they realize hey, I made you dinner if you're this is what you eat.
But what if the kid's palate really okay, here, I'll throw one at you. My son, he lives off of carrots, celery, cucumbers, and fruit.
Fantastic.
Okay, right. But hates anything with protein for the most part, with the exception of cheese.
Okay.
What does one do to get protein in their child other than a protein shake every day?
If you guys are cooking at home,
Yeah, we do.
you can make protein pancakes and protein waffles. You can disguise the protein powder in a pancake or a waffle. And if they've never had one from a Waffle House, they don't know the difference.
I give him protein pasta, the Barilla protein pasta.
There's better ways to do
17
it.
grams per serving.
They could have, you could do, and honestly, you could do like the plant-based protein. It's not going to be, you're not going to get it in the concentrated amounts that like you can from like an animal source,
Right.
but it's still there.
Yeah.
But that's very, very nutrient dense, healthy stock. That is a million times better than my friend's kid who's eating freaking pizza and French fries and drinking soda, and he's 2 fucking years old.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it's like it's mind blowing. Kills you. It's mind blowing. Yeah.
And do you believe that teaching young kids, as young as, let's call it 5 years old, fitness, exercises is how do you feel about teaching your children how to exercise at that young of an age?
I'm going to quote my kung fu teacher from when I was at college. He said, "You are never too early to start, and you're never too late to begin." Being active and moving your body is exactly why you have muscles. You have a central nervous system to control your muscles, and your muscles will control your skeleton for movement. If we were not designed to move, we wouldn't have that.
Right.
So I know there's a lot of like there's certain exercise myths out there that say that like if you have kids weightlifting too young, it's going to stunt their growth and
Right.
the crush their growth palace and stuff. And it's conflicting research. But one thing that you can always be safe with is having the kids run around, jump, throw, crawl. If they want to do push-ups and pull-ups, because that's just their own body weight. Running up and down the stairs, doing squats and lunges, that just keeps them active and it keeps them moving. And if they're constantly putting their muscles through full range of motion while they're growing, they're less likely to be stiff and inflexible as they get older. One thing that I notice from adults, I notice this a lot more with women than I do with men. If I have somebody anywhere 30s, 40s, 50s, 60 years old, and I put them through like a SWOT assessment, I can almost tell if they were in dance or cheerleading or gymnastics as a kid, because they have the least amount of lower body movement and balance. Their hips are in the right alignment, their knees are in the right alignment, and they can get crazy range of motion because while they were growing into their adult bodies, there was a heavy emphasis on flexibility.
Wow, that's interesting.
You will catch young men who play soccer and baseball and football, and if they stop and they have a sit-down job or whatever out of college, their lower bodies, they're stiff. They're like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Our ankle mobility is crap. We collapse forward. Our knees aren't in the right place. It's the flexibility aspect and just moving and being flexible. As kids are growing up, you will see the least amount of postural issues in your adult life.
Got it.
So if I could recommend one thing for all parents is guys, girls, whatever, get them in something that emphasizes them moving,
Full body movement.
and stretching.
Okay. Get your kids moving. Okay.
Martial arts for everybody.
Yes. I'm really happy that we had this conversation because it's going to allow me to really think more about the influence that my diet and my overall health and wellness plays a role in all areas of my life, and how I can also help encourage my clients to be better in those areas in order to see the types of results that they're looking for, not just, with their skin, but with their overall mental health and wellness. Because, we talk to women all day long and they don't just come here because, I'm having an issue with my skin. It's like all of a sudden, you're here because you need help with your acne, but I just learned that you are going through all sorts of other mental health issues. And 9 times out of 10, it's stemming from poor lifestyle choices. So I'm really excited that I got to sit down with you and talk about all of this, because this was awakening for me and for anybody hopefully that watches this. And I highly encourage anybody who watched this to call Danny and see what he has to offer for you, because I'm going to be calling you. And I'm excited to start this new journey myself. So thank you for coming on and sharing all of your amazing information and your education and your background. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your business journey, your health and fitness journey, and I look forward to working with you myself.
We'll turn you into a racer yet.
Staying up, staying up.